Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Happy and Nerchio. Game 2 taking place on Tal'Darim Altar, and I wonder if Nerchio is LOLing at the fact that he is Terran. Yes, so Nerchio actually spawned as Terran this game. I'm not 100% sure how strong his Terran play. I've only cast games with him being a Zerg player, so he's either joining the Terran bandwagon because a lot of people believe Terran's OP, or he accidentally chose the wrong race, and we'll see what happens and what's the outcome of this game. Nerchio spawning as the red Terran player here at the 10 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Happy, obviously they did not switch their colors, spawning as the yellow Terran player here at the 2 o'clock position. So this is going to be Terran mirror match here on Tal'Darim Altar, and I believe Happy I'm not 100% sure if Happy knows that his opponent is in fact Terran. Normally you would say that he would build a front door here, but Tal'Darim Altar is one of those really strange maps where front doors are very difficult to establish. Because there is no ramp here, Terran players generally don't want to build a front door here, as roaches are able to easily get damage onto supply depots and barracks there, unless they try to build a bunker, and then that wall does become a little bit more expensive. We now see an SCV moving out from Happy, gonna be scouting in the clockwise direction. Meanwhile, Nerchio also scouting in the counterclockwise direction, so it will be quite some time before both of these players really face each other. Now, I haven't cast that many mirror matches, especially Terran versus Terran, in quite a while. Terran versus Terran is always a dangerous game. It almost feels like rock, paper, scissors, where if one Terran player tries to go for Banshees and you're not ready for it, you just completely lose. But if they're ready for it and they have Marines and tanks with a Viking, then you completely lose. But if one side goes Marine Marauders Infantry against Marine Tank, the Marine Marauder wins, as they're able to charge up a little bit more easily. And now you can see that their one unit did pass by over there. SCV now coming in as well, as you can now see Nerchio coming in over onto this side. Now taking a look at the bases, based upon the movement and where exactly Happy scouted out, he may not, he doesn't look like he's going fully inside the base, so I think he thinks his opponent is still Zerg. So by thinking that his opponent is Zerg, he's actually trying to see if there's creep. If there isn't creep, then he just moves along his merry way. So this is going to be very interesting indeed, as this SCV is still continuing to wander around the map. There is already a factory being built here, and now Nerchio, with 3 Marines on this front door, should be able to take down that SCV very easily. Down it goes, as the command center was just placed down. So back over here, Happy does see the command center though, so he does know that there is an expansion coming into play over here at the low ground, actually the high ground expansion location here. Nerchio opting to go for a 25 command center right before the 4.5 minute mark, as 3 Marines were also able to shut down this one SCV as well that was trying to come up the ramp. We are going into a factory over here. There is a factory over here as well, so both sides now getting out their Hellion. And you can see Nerchio going into a reactor. So there's going to be 3 Marines, both sides fighting each other. And there you go. Who got the first shot off? And it looks like Happy definitely got the first shot off there, as both sides are now going to continue to engage. This Hellion needs to deal damage towards the Marines, as it wants to deal as much splash damage as possible. And just based upon timing, oh, there you go. One Hellion was taken down. So these Marines do not want to try to battle against the Hellion. And is enough damage going to be dealt? Oh no, the Hellion does get destroyed. So now a significant advantage for Happy. Happy sitting at a 200 mineral army with those 4 Marines out in the field compared to 0. But and now you can also see 21 SCVs versus 21 SCVs there, and more units are being trained. A siege tank being added, more Marines being added, and now another Rax being added as well. We can see that the command center finally coming into play for Happy, but already upgrading to an orbital command by Nerchio. Nerchio probably wishing that he could power drone right now in order to get a stronger economy, but unfortunately Terran cannot train 4 drones at one time after a spawn larva. You just have to build them the old-fashioned way, but he will be able to utilize those mules and perhaps get a stronger economy with that route. A siege tank, and now Marines preparing to establish a hold on that front door and trying to fend off any early aggression. The siege tank will have siege tech in just a moment. well in time before Nerchio will be moving out. I do not think Nerchio will be moving out anytime soon, as a command center now being placed down as well. Although both of these players have not really scouted each other's base, they pretty much know that Banshees will, Banshees could still be an option. You haven't seen any gas units just quite yet, so I'm kind of surprised that Happy hasn't gone for Engineering Bay to order to be able to detect and just try to destroy any Banshees. But same thing by Nerchio. Nerchio does not have an Engineering Bay either, so Banshees would have been a very, very wise option at this stage. Siege tanks are over here getting ready to siege back, and the siege tech of Happy already completed. And as soon as that siege tech is completed, you can place siege tanks along here. It protects a decent amount of that front door. In addition to being able to protect and making sure that no units try to siege you up along this side, dealing damage towards that orbital command. A third base now being established by Nerchio, so a third expansion by Nerchio, as the destructible rocks over here slowly starting to take more and more damage. Siege tank gonna join the cause as well, and the siege tank will significantly help how quickly those destructible rocks get taken down. 4 Marines, or more Marines and tanks also being added as well. Army-wise, you can see 1,000 versus 1150, so both sides about even at this stage. And Marine also trying to perhaps activate this Zelnaga Watchtower and see what's happening. Happy is in the field, and as soon as this one Marine sees those other 3 Marines, it wants to get the heck out of there, down to 3 hit points, and it will be able to escape with little to no issue. The destructible rocks have been destroyed. Orbital command should be placed there in about a minute or so. Siege tanks need to siege up, otherwise it's going to be a very, very bad open field battle. Siege tanks are starting to push through, and siege tanks, one siege tank is down, but multiple siege tanks are going to get destroyed over here. So 2 siege tanks for 1, but a Viking was lost as well. 1,200 resources lost by Nerchio. Happy sitting at 850. Not really enough to make a true difference at this stage, as this siege tank perhaps should be trying to siege over here. There is 1 Viking in the air, and the siege tanks need to get in position, and now siege tanks are going to be sieging off into this position here, and Happy going to get a lot of damage onto those tanks in just a moment. You can see how much damage those SCVs are going to be taking very, very easily. All the Viking needs to do is just pop its head over there, and down goes SCVs very, very quickly. Marines and siege tanks are still over off on this corner. The siege tanks are in a bit of trouble, as the orbital command just taking a shelling time and time again. You can see 1 siege tank is pretty far over. This needs to perhaps lift off, perhaps position itself over here in order to get some additional gas, as the units are just blasting back and forth. Siege tanks continuing to move out. This one siege tank needs to get out of there, able to barely escape at 62 hit points. 2 more blasts and it would have been done in. So now siege tanks just holding their ground here, hoping to buy some additional time. This orbital command really should just be lifting off and trying to reposition itself. Not quite sure why it's not doing so. The Viking is also nearby, so that may be the reason, but come on, Nerchio, you know you can lift off your buildings. Alright, no, apparently he is not going to lift off that building, and down it goes. Now currently supply lock. Nerchio in a bit of trouble now, but the siege tanks are going to try to circumnavigate around the majority of Happy's army. Is it going to work out is the key question. Probably not. Center Zelnaga Watchtower is activated, one of the 4, so these units are on the move, and now Happy should be able to re-siege his tanks in time to get where he needs to go. Siege tanks are going to try to push forward, and able to get off a blast there once more. So this is just tank wars with Marines, as the unit's going to come back over here. Marines now trying to walk up that ramp, and it's not going to be a very, very pretty sight either. Marines trying to stim up there. Siege tanks are in position, trying to fire up onto the high ground, but Happy with more than enough siege tanks to deal with it. And Nerchio says GG as well. So Nerchio currently down 0-2 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 game between Nerchio and Happy here on Tall Dream Altar.